What's up guys, it's Drac, and today I have a super exciting blaster to show you. I've been looking forward to this for a month. Alright, so it's no secret, I love my Caliburn. 3D printed, full length, shoots, katana magazine, awesome sniper rifle like DMR style blaster. Nothing could top it. I can't imagine anything being better than the Arcane Zero Caliburn right now, other than like a dedicated homemade blaster like Bloodborne. And then Northeast Designs happened. So, what is this? Well, this is the CHIMERA, or the CHIMERA, depending upon how you want to pronounce it. And it is all of those things I just said, but in Bullpup configuration. You guys know I like Bullpups. I only say it every time I review a Bullpup anything. So Bullpup simply means that the magazine and the action are behind the trigger. Now, the CHIMERA satisfies that requirement, therefore it is essentially a Caliburn-inspired Bullpup design. Now, the Caliburn features are things like the catch mechanism and sort of the entire pusher system. However, a lot of things are different. So first off, this is a long shot style plunger tube. It's a little bit shorter than a Caliburn plunger tube, and it uses long shot springs, which gives you a huge litany of aftermarket springs to use. The one in here right now is very powerful. It's like a seriously heavy spring. We've got a full rail up top. Serial number is put on here. Mine is serial number Drac-K. That's Drac because Nerf Vampire, and K for Katana. So the Katana magwell wicks a little bit more length off of this. And if you guys get this video to 2,000 likes, come on guys, smash that like button. I will do a full comparison of the CHIMERA to the Caliburn, comparing Arcane Zero to the serial number Drac Katana. Now, trigger mechanism is very different from a Caliburn. As you can see, it's connected through here. There's a space through here. It's threaded rod, but while it looks very mechanical and kind of funky, it's actually a very crisp, very snappy trigger pull now, whereas some things like don't do this, like there's some finities in here. So the hardware is all solid, it's thick, serious hardware, and it's using a hex key. Hilariously, if you look back here, there's a nice little feature right here where it says hex, and I was like, that's weird, why does it say hex? And then I looked at it from the back and realized that there is, and I would need to push it out just a little bit, but there is a hex key for like on the field maintenance built into here. It slots in and just kind of sticks inside your stock. Now the stock doesn't have any foam padding, but it's strongly contoured and feels pretty good. Like it's not going anywhere, and stocks are pretty important for Bullpups because you really are trying to leverage into your body with them. Now it is a little bit shorter, it is a little bit more maneuverable because of that Bullpup action. There's not quite as much out in front of you, and it is, especially with the Katana magazines, you don't have to chicken wing around it. Like you're never going to be doing this maneuver, but once this is in here, it's not that big a deal. Like it does not impact my utility of it. Now the magazine release is pretty cool. It's this like large flipper almost. It's very different, but it's a lot like the Caliburn in that something about using these Katana magazines in wells like this are difficult. Like you have to have exposed hardware. There's just no way around it. You could print more to cover this, but you'd be making your blaster bulkier and heavier. Now, it's not all sunshine and roses. There's some things about this design that I feel like could be improved, but overall, I want to compliment a lot of the design choices. It's unique. It's doing something impressive. It hits like a freight train, which is incredible. And aesthetically, it's very exciting, very beautiful. Like if it was just a design change for the sake of a design change, I think it would be successful. But the fact that it changes up your ergo a little bit, if you like Bullpup, it lets you use Bullpup, and modifying this plunger system lets you use different kinds of stuff. Like I think this is a very successful product, and while Northeast Designs has only made a few of them so far, I know he has orders out to about 25, and so I highly recommend getting on that list. I will link to his Etsy store in the description box below, because this is a very exciting design and well worth at least taking a peek at. But this front area is cool. The carbon fiber guide rails are like a very fancy touch, very nice. And then you have the standard aluminum barrel and priming bars of stainless steel on the sides. So this is of course a full scar, and I do just want to like compliment the very Iron Man theme of doing my traditional red and black, but instead of accenting with orange, accenting with this very cool gold gives it a very Avengers kind of feel. Now to talk about some of the detriments before we take it outside and fire it for you. So we're gonna talk about the things we don't like, then we're gonna get crazy excited again, talking about all the stuff it does do well, which is, we'll get there. So, print quality, at least on mine, could be improved. Some of this is just difficult to print, but you've got like some funky stringiness inside here, over here, like just fluff that could have been filed or sanded. Now I understand that cranking these out is probably stressful and you don't have time to finish every part by hand, but it could be improved a little bit here and there, maybe in print settings, maybe just taking a hand file to it. And then you've got some layer separation in whatever this filament choice is. Neither of those are huge deals because everything is cinched really tight and I'm confident in the overall durability of it. Just in particular, the handle, the thumb port here would be a little bit more comfortable with some finishing, which I can do myself. So it's not the end of the world. Like, that's being very nitpicky. The sights are too high up. Maybe I have weird eyes. I definitely have weird eyes, but when I shoulder here and look down, the sights are too high, which is an unusual issue, but with a bullpup where you really want to be tucked into it, it's kind of problematic. They should just be a little bit lower so that they're actually at eye level, because as it is, I find myself wanting to lock in and then kind of drift back like this to see down those sights, and that's not ideal. Scar is great, looks great, works great, integrates into the design very, very nicely. It's a cross-compatible Scar, so it would work with the Caliburn system as well. And then the only other thing that I want to nitpick about, because everything else is legitimately really nice, we talked about print quality, we talked about the sights, is that like I feel like this isn't the most elegant foregrip solution, and maybe I'm being like sort of prudish or what have you, but this is the Caliburn standard angled foregrip, and with such a heavy spring load in mine, like I like to think that I'm in pretty decent shape. Like, that is pretty heavy. Now it's not bad. It definitely works just fine, but I find that I tuck my thumb up onto here and I pull back really hard, and a lot of that forces on my thumb because this is too far out in front to be useful. You don't want to grab it or do anything up here, and then this really isn't giving you a lot of purchase unless you like really stick your fingers through there, and once you've done that, now the Picatinny up top is grinding against the tops of these two fingers. So there's got to be a better grip solution. I'm going to play around with some things. Again, it's not a big deal since it is Picatinny compatible down here. You could put any grip you wanted on it. You could play around with it until you find something that works for you, because not everybody has the same sized hands and not everybody has the same comfort zone over their stroke length. So let's take it outside. Let's put it through its paces.
Alrighty guys, so this is the Chimera outside, and man, am I looking forward to showing you guys this. It's just going to be so sweet. Wait until you hear the noise it makes. But before we start firing it downrange and making you guys crazy jealous, I am crazy jealous myself. My neighbor has been working on this like little Porsche two-seater for the last 4 days or so, and it just looks like it would be crazy fun to work on or drive around in. Like, man, does anybody recognize that model? I'm not really a Porsche guy, but that one is cool. So back at the Chimera, let's go ahead and prime this back. Now I do find that you want to be pretty stiff when you put your Katana magazine in, but once you're in, it's good. That magazine release is fine. Like a soft one, it's okay. There were some issues when I first grabbed it where I was doing that gently and it would fall out, you can see. But like, all you really got to do is want it and it's a-okay. That's exactly the amount of force you'd be using on the battlefield anyway. So don't like coddle it. It is well built. So then pull it forward and here we go. So let's just shoot a little downrange. This Scar, overall the noise it makes is great, but it's very accurate even with these janky worker darts. And it hits like a freight train. Check it out. So 100-foot shots, not even a problem. Coming in at about 250 FPS, a little less with the Scar on. This thing is sweet. So primed. Woo! And again, like that foregrip's just, I'm gonna have to change it up just a little bit, but I haven't decided how yet. So let's fire that tree there. Pow. And then back and forth. Igor down. Woo! I'm not even going to be able to pick up half of these. These are so gone. But a really cool blaster. A little more compact than my Caliburn. Like, we're going to aim over Steven at the bush up at the top. nice. I mean, really, really cool. I do like this carbon fiber. It's very, very handsome. The serial number being custom was a lovely touch. I like that the parts are labeled left and right. I'm not sure if this was necessary. And then the Northeast Design logo there is pretty sweet in and of itself. But like, serious plunger tube, very different plunger style, and even a slightly different pusher style and length from the Caliburn. So like, while it is inspired by that, a lot of changes have been made to get this to that point where it's comfortable and very functional. But a Bullpup sniper rifle, if ever there was one. Let's take it back inside for our final thoughts.
So that is the Chimera. It is mythical indeed, my friends. I think that it's a really innovative design, and the coolest thing about open source in our hobby is that you can take something amazing like the Caliburn that's done 700 units, you can remix it in a way that's interesting both mechanically and functionally and ergonomically, and you can make something like truly your own out of it. Like, this is a very unique, very ambitious design. This entire mechanism happening up here, which facilitates not only the trigger, but also the magazine release, is just wild. Like, I'm sure that there was a lot of love that went into particularly the back end, but really just everywhere. Like, this was no easy feat, and my hats are off to Northeast Design, and he also has my sincerest thanks for sending this one over so that I could make a video for you guys, so that you know that there's now a super cool Bullpup option on the market. Whether you want to sling full lengths or half lengths, he has both versions, and they're very, very fairly priced considering the amount of hardware and design work that went into this. So I love seeing more independent blaster makers in the hobby. The rising tide truly raises all boats. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you have a design that you'd like me to review, just let me know. Shoot me an Instagram message. Slide into my DMs. But much love, Nerf on, Drac out.